Hello everybody, welcome to the hashtag Thanks for Watching Art YouTube Hub Part 3. This video is a collaboration with many different talented artists, and our challenge was this time to take one of the videos out of the part 1 or part 2 and be inspired by that video to create. So I was inspired by the video of Laura Simmons, and I'm not sure what her YouTube name is, so I will link it in the description box below so you can watch the video if you like. She did a project where I just loved the overall concept. So I wanted to do a layout, and I took just her basic idea and took it a step further. So I'm starting out with some splatters on my page. She did her background with oxide ink, and I don't have oxide ink, so I thought I'm doing it with ecoline. So I'm doing drips of ecoline all over the middle of my page, and then adding water and letting it drip. And I don't have mixed media paper, this is just scrapbook paper, and I used a lot of water, so my paper just isn't as flat anymore. But when I put a pile of books on there, it will be okay. So I'm drying my page. And I also use a stencil, and I think she basically used the same kind of stencil, so I thought I stay as close to her concept as I could. So I'm just using my black ink, and I'm stenciling just at the middle part of my page, so the stenciling will be peeking behind my pictures. That's the basic idea. So I'm checking out how I want my hearts, and my hearts are made from just cardboard box. I try to do my crafting, creating, mixed media, whatever I do, I always try to do it as low budget as I can. So these hearts are just out of a cardboard box, and I peeled off the first layer so you can see the corrugated layer. And I also was inspired by another lady. She did a mixed media page, and she used tissue paper by Tim Holtz, and I don't have tissue paper at all, let alone from Tim Holtz. So I make my own tissue paper, and I'm doing that also low budget. So my tissue paper came out of a shoebox, and I just stamped 2 stamps on there that I have. And now I'm looking for I want to have circles cut out of there. And my tissue paper is really flimsy, so I don't think it will work with a punch. And then again, I don't have that big of a punch, so I use my circle dies. I'm trying to find some places where I have an interesting print, and then I cut my tissue paper out, and it worked out really fine. I want to take half of the circle, so I'm using my glue trying to see where to place it, and using a glue that will dry transparent. In this case it's tacky glue, and I'm putting my circle only half on the page, because that way I can cut it off and use the other half somewhere else on my page. So making sure it's really dry before I can cut it, otherwise it probably will rip. And then I'm dry brushing on some aqua teal colored paint, and I'm just having absolutely a dry brush. When I'm done with the teal, I also bring in some of bronze metallic paint and dry brushing that on the same spots, just to give it some more interest and some more color. And then I decide to do it randomly all over the middle of my page, just for some extra interest and some extra color. And I really love how the combination with the bronze is, so we'll be taking that further into this project as well. And then back from my scrapping days, I remember the rule of uneven numbers. So I only have 2 spots, but I immediately think, yeah, well, it's missing something. So I'm doing a 3rd spot on the left side, which also gives me a visual line, sort of. So the line goes from the right top to the left in the middle, and then to the right again, but on the bottom. So your eyes go over the whole page. And then I also decide to add some more stamping, but this time I'm stamping through a stencil. And I really am I'm having a script stamp here, and my stencil is, my pattern is not a full pattern. You can see some lines in my stars, so the stamp won't stamp on the lines, of course. So I'm not having a full stamp. And when I'm done, you cannot even see that I was stamping a star. So that's a really cool way to get some texture on your page. And I loved how it turned out. And again, I'm doing the stamping on 3 places. And then I also want to, like I said, add some more of the bronze color, or some golden kind of colors. And I bought some transfer foil a while back, and when I got home, the back side said I needed a glue pen or something, and I had a glue pen. It was the Quickie Glue by Sakura, but that did not work. So I was kind of bummed about that, because now I didn't have another glue pen and I did not know how I could get my transfer foil on to my projects. So I've started to try out some things, and most of them failed, except for one thing. I used tacky glue, and I also used a stencil. So I put my tacky glue through the stencil, and I pounced on it a few times, so I really felt it was really sticky. And then I put my transfer foil on there and rubbed over it with a cloth. And in the beginning I even thought I needed to use a bone folder or something to really rub it off like you do with rub-ons. But in the end that was actually not even necessary. So for my Dutch viewers, if you have bought transfer foil from the Action and you have tacky glue from the Action also, then you can use your foil just by using your tacky glue and make sure it's really sticky, and then it will work. So you see me doing this by just putting some glue on a craft mat and then tapping it with my finger. And I really love the effect it gives. It's so shiny and it gives a little extra oomph to my page. Okay, and then I decided I have a few spots that are still, well, there's nothing happening there. And I don't want it to be very powerful, so I'm using a stencil, and I have some eyeshadow, eye mousse in my case. And I'm just taking a sponge and sponging it on through my stencil, and it gives a really light effect. So it's perfect for these spots because it doesn't need to be very powerful. It's just something in the background, because my focal points are of course the hearts that will be on there and my 3 spots, and this just gives some extra interest, but it's not drawing the eye off from my main focal points. Okay, and then I thought, let's take that shiny bronze color a bit further. So I'm having a piece of netting. I'm cutting a piece and I'm putting that on my layout, and my hearts will go over there. So that's really giving a subtle sparkle as well. It's really cool. Now I'm using a black acrylic pearl paint, and I'm gonna dry brush that to give my layout a border. So I just need a little itsy bitsy, and my brush is absolutely dry. So start light, you can always add more. Getting it off is harder. So after dry brushing all around my page, I thought it should have something else. So I started using my transfer foil on the edges, and I just have to do a little bit. I used tacky glue. I can do it directly on or do it on a sheet that I have beside me and then put it on with my finger. And then I'm gonna bounce on it, because now it's not tacky enough to put my foil on there. It really needs to be sticky. And if it's not sticky enough, it won't work. Rubbing it, I'm using a cloth. And then you pull it off. And there is your foiling. So when you're not happy in some places with your foiling, let's see, do I have a spot? Oh yeah, maybe here. Here you see a spot where it didn't take that well. So bouncing to get it sticky with my transfer. And finding a spot where you have enough and just rubbing over and then taking it out. There we have another spot. And you see how shiny it is. I'm gonna add some scribbles. Just for some extra interest. So now to finish my layout, I'm having a piece of decoration cloth that I wanted to add to my layout. And I also, remember, cut out 3 of these hearts, and I want to have a picture on this layout on the middle heart. Okay, I'm setting this aside to dry. I think I also want to do something with my hearts, so I'm not sure what to do. I also think I want to use the word love.
And to let my hearts pop off the page a little bit more, I add again the bronze color to the sides, but I also drag it, dry brushing it a little bit in. And then I put on my hearts on my page. I saw they were not popping off my page as I really would like to. So I'm taking my black neon color crayon, which will react with water. So I'm drawing the outline of my hearts and then adding the water, and that gives me a really shadowy effect. And when I put on my hearts, you can see the shadow around the heart. It gives the heart a little pop off my page. I love how that looks. I wanted to have a picture of my family, so my husband and my 2 boys, but I could not find a picture where we were all on there and it also fitted inside of the heart. So I found another picture, and when I put it on my heart, I didn't like it that much because the background was too white. So I'm taking again the bronze paint, and off camera I also did some more journaling. Then I add my word and in this first place I wanted to use the word love, but since I used a different picture, I also did a different word, and my word is awesome. And the last step is putting on some splatters, and to protect my photograph I put on a piece of scrap paper. So that's my layout. I hope you loved the process. If you do, please like the video and share it with other people so they can find it as well. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day, and be sure to check out the other artists who are in this video hub. Hopefully the links will be in the description box. So thank you so much for watching, have a wonderful day, and see you back with my next project. Bye bye everybody!